Well, hello everybody, welcome to your language teaching and learning channel. My name is Santiago. The last two videos we've been talking about December 8th, 1980, which was the day in which John Lennon was assassinated, and as we mentioned, by one of his fans. And also the other ironic thing was the fact that John Lennon was actually coming back into public life and as an artist with a new album, and he also had another album on the way, but there was always that little hope between us Beatle fans that, you know, they may get back together again, and how wonderful that would be. And of course, as soon as that happened, all hopes of any reunion vanished. And well, we mentioned the things that were happening the day before and everything else. I have a cassette of all the different radio stations and what they were doing and saying. And as I mentioned, for the next few weeks, everybody was just talking about his assassination, different facts and everything else. Now, if you remember, I told you that, well, he was officially pronounced dead at around 11 p.m., sometime past 11 p.m. on December 8th. So most of us found out in the early morning on the next day, December 9th. And if you remember, I told you I had a physics exam that afternoon. And so this was very devastating news for all of us Beatle fans. And you know, they organized a lot of different events in order to commemorate his life, his legacy. I'm sure they did this in many different parts of the world. For example, probably in London, in England, in Liverpool. Pretty sure also in New York, in Times Square. Pretty sure also in Central Park, because remember, John Lennon lived right across from, apart from the Central Park there in the Dakota. And if you see many of his old videos and many of his last videos, there are a lot of scenes that were filmed in Central Park. So obviously he liked the area, he liked going there. And after he passed away, obviously after he died, the city donated a part, and with the help of Yoko Ono's investment, there's a part of Central Park which is dedicated to him, and it's called Strawberry Fields. After, you know, if you're a Beatle fan, you know that they made a song called Strawberry Fields Forever. And as soon as you're near the area, there are some benches around, and there's a big circle in the center, and with the peace and love sign, and it says Imagine. That's it. And as soon as you enter the path, it's a nice path, it's a walking path, and there's a lot of trees and green, and it's very peaceful, and that was the idea. So anyway, I'm sure there were a lot of events taking place in the different areas, and of course Toronto was no exception. That evening they had organized, like, you know, even had a makeshift stage in Nathan Phillips Square, or City Hall, which I'm pretty sure you've seen pictures of it, because it's a very unusual buildings actually. There are two buildings in a kind of semicircular form, and in the center there's another part which looks like a mushroom. Okay, that's the City Hall area, and it was just outside there that they organized this event in honor of John Lennon. A lot of celebrities took part, and of course everybody who took part, they were not about to charge anything or make a profit out of it. And that's what many people mentioned on the radio stations, announcements and everything else. You know, they said they didn't want people to, you know, make money off of this unfortunate event, like had happened when Elvis passed away. A lot of people did a lot of things, and in honor of Elvis, and they received a lot of money for that. So they didn't want that to happen, and that didn't happen. There were in the radio stations quite a few people who brought in a cassette that they sang a song, they made a song for John Lennon as soon as they heard. and they just, dropped it off. I said, look, I don't want it. Just, if you like it, make people listen to it, but I don't want to, have any money from it or anything like that. So that was the idea. So there were a lot of celebrities that evening, and among them, I can't recall everybody, obviously, and you will find out in a little while why. But among them was Long John Baldry, who was apparently a friend of John Lennon's. And all the celebrities, what they were doing was they were sharing experiences with all of us who were there about things that they knew about John Lennon, anecdotes and experiences that they had there with John Lennon. All they asked us to do to go there was to bring a candle and to wear a black an armband. That's it. So of course, after I finished my physics exam, I walked over there because the university was a stone's throw practically from City Hall. So I just walked a few blocks and I made it. And I took part in it's a very, very nice event. There were a lot of people there. Everybody was holding a candle and wearing the black armband there, right? And whenever the celebrities mentioned something about John Lennon, the interesting experiences, they stopped and they put one of his songs, some of his music, talking about it, and and we sang along, and I'm pretty sure this is one of the songs that we sang along. Now, John Lennon, as I mentioned before, he really fought for peace, and this song is one of the proofs of what he really wanted in the world was peace. Okay, I'm also pretty sure we sang this other one, his most famous song, right? Imagine there's no heaven and we are all living as one. There are also some controversial lyrics somewhere there, but that's what he wanted. He just wanted peace and love, right? So anyway, we all sang about that, and you're probably asking yourself, or you may say, well, he's such a Beatle fan, and he's talking about John Lennon, and he hasn't shown us his last album, or when we talked about music, you didn't see his last album, Double Fantasy, right? And the same with the newspapers and the Playboy interview and everything else. I had that, I had a whole bunch of newspapers and articles from those few weeks. However, and when I came here on vacation from Canada, I didn't want to leave my music behind, so I bought a trunk, and someday you will see it. And in the trunk, I put all my LPs and my 45s and the magazine and the newspaper cutouts and everything else. And unfortunately, when the trunk arrived here, you couldn't bring it by plane, you had to send it by, it would be too expensive, so I had to send it by ship, and I had to send it a few weeks before my flight. And when it finally got here and it was delivered, I noticed that it had been opened. So obviously I complained, and they told me, look, I'm sorry, but it's regulations. Customs has to open whatever comes in order to see that nothing illegal is in it. And I said, okay, I can understand that, but I should have been present when you opened it, or when they opened it. They said, well, I'm sorry, that's the procedure. As soon as it gets here, they open it, they check it, and then they ship it to wherever you are. And I said, well, okay, fine. So the first thing I looked for was obviously John Lennon's LP, and guess what? It was gone. The other second album that I looked for was Supertramp's Fool's Overture. And it's a nice song, and also the album was pretty nice because it was the picture of a piano in the middle of snow-capped mountains. So it's a very nice picture. And the reason I looked for that album is because it had been the third time that I bought the album. The first time I bought it, I scratched it accidentally. The second time I bought it, I accidentally left it in the sun and it got warped. And of course with my turntable, which is a linear tracking turntable, so you can only play one album at a time, and the lid closes, you can't lift it. And if it's warped, it can't play it. So I had to buy another one. So that was the third time I had bought that album. That one was gone too, along with other ones. Remember when we talked about music, I said, I'm sorry, I may not mention all of the groups, but of course quite a few albums were missing, and the newspaper articles, the Playboy magazine, and the interview and everything else. So that's why I don't have the album. But anyway, I would like to thank you very much for having joined me in this video, and in all the other videos since we started back a few months ago when the pandemic started. And next week it's Christmas, okay? And for that reason, we're going to finish with This Is Happy Christmas by John Lennon and Yoko Ono. And again, I'm very grateful for you checking out the videos. If you haven't joined the channel, please do so. And I'd like to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas. I know we've all lost a close relative or a friend, somebody that we've known, unfortunately, due to the pandemic. But those of us who are still here, let's take care of ourselves and make sure that we continue being here and do good. Okay, so thank you very much again for watching the videos. Continue watching them. We will be taking a little break from the academic talk because of the season. It's Christmas. So next few videos we'll be talking about Christmas and New Year's and events and music and so on. So we can start the new year with hopefully an interview or getting back into the academic track. Once again, thank you very much. Have a very happy Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.